election, President Trump still won't admit he's lost. And the conspiracy theory that he's spinning to explain Joe Biden's win is a doozy even for him. Planet Trump wants you to believe, without a shred of evidence to back it up, that the FBI, the Department of Justice, the Department of Homeland Security, Venezuela, poll workers in multiple states, but only the ones that Trump lost, Fox anchors, but only the dayside ones, Republicans, but only Republicans in the states Trump lost, and of course Democrats, were all in on a conspiracy that forced him to lose the election. The strangest of strange bedfellows, the motliest of motley crews, somehow, Trump claims, all came together to throw the election. That's what Trump wants you to believe happened. He also wants you to believe that they covered their tracks impeccably, because remember, there is no evidence they coordinated or communicated, and there is zero evidence of widespread voter fraud. Zero. We know this because election officials across the country, both Democrats and Republicans, have told us that. We know that because Trump's own administration has told us that. Joe Biden won the election fair and square, and quite frankly, it wasn't even close. But President Trump continues his journey through Never Never Land, held aloft by Tinkerbell TV.
I don't think we even have to prove this. They say that I was doing so much better than they thought that they panicked and they started just doing ballot after ballot very quickly and just checking the Biden name on top.
Now that is a new one, alleging they, and who is they, by the way, he doesn't say, that a panic led them, whoever them is, to fill out ballots for Biden. Ballots that are verifiable, that were counted by hand in some places by Democrats and Republicans. His desperate conspiracy theory even fails the plausibility test there, and it certainly flunks the evidence test. He says he doesn't even have to prove this. Well, how it works is he does have to prove this, unless he's not actually trying to prove anything, unless he's just trying to muck things up, be a sore loser, assuage his bruised ego at the expense of the country and its citizens' faith in its government and its institutions.
This is total fraud, and how the FBI and Department of Justice, I don't know, maybe they're involved.
Even Maria Bartiromo seemed shocked by the President of the United States casually suggesting that the FBI and the DOJ rigged the election against him, departments helmed by his own appointees.
Missing in action. Can't tell you where they are. They just keep moving along and they go on to the next president.
Yeah, they do, because that's how it works. They do move on to the next president, as baffling as that may be to Trump, who it appears is just really nursing this open wound of losing a popularity contest.
We won the election easily. There's no way Joe Biden got 80 million votes.
And yet the president's 74 million votes, totally real, totally legit, no reason to question those, he says.
I was called by the biggest people, saying, congratulations, political people. Congratulations, sir, you just won the election. It was 10 o'clock.
Congratulations, sir, these unnamed biggest people said to him. Well, remember that CNN fact checker Daniel Dale, who spends his time pretty much only reviewing Trump's falsehoods, says sir is one of Trump's tells. He uses it often when he's lying. And it's not the first time that Trump has just conjured people out of thin air. Maybe you remember his friend Jim, who once loved Paris, went all the time with his wife and kids, Trump said, who stopped going because of foreign extremists. Well, CNN was unable to find Jim or verify his existence. No other news outlet was able to do it. Apparently, Trump has an imaginary friend, or friends plural, like John Barron, then Citizen Trump spokesperson, who on tape bragging about Trump sounded exactly like Trump himself. So let's just say that John Barron does not have a LinkedIn page, but he does have a hand in shaping the White House's messaging, which at times gets a little stopped up.
This election was over, and then they did dumps. They call them dumps, big, massive dumps.
Now, he appears to be describing what his legal team and their allies are doing across the country, with 30 cases now lost or withdrawn.
They weren't allowed to have poll watchers. The Democrats and thugs, I'm not talking about saying, could you please move over? They threw them out of the counting rooms.
Now, that's a lie, something his own lawyers say they can't prove in court. Trump even went after the Republican governor of Georgia.
The governor's done nothing. He's done absolutely nothing. I'm ashamed that I endorsed him.
Done nothing because he hasn't abused his power, hasn't reversed the will of the voters, hasn't stolen an election for Trump?
Mr. President, but if you take out the contested swing states electoral votes, you're back down to President Trump having 232 electoral votes and Joe Biden having 227.
True, but that's also like saying if you take out the points that Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen scored, you're back down to John Stockton having the starring role in The Last Dance. That's not how it works, unless you're on Planet Trump.
I wanted to file one suit, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States, against, and put everything into one simple suit. And they say, sir, you don't have standing. I say, I don't have standing. You mean as President of the United States, I don't have standing. What kind of a court system is this?
Assuming he's upset that he's not going before the Supreme Court, he doesn't quite understand that he's not entitled to automatic attendance to the nation's highest court just because he filled a third of it or because he's president. His lawyers apparently don't understand that either.
We're waiting for the United States Supreme Court, of which the president has nominated 3 justices, to step in and do something, and hopefully Amy Coney Barrett will come through.
They're truly hoping that the president's appointments will further fuel his fantasies as he takes his fairy tale global.
And you have leaders of countries that call me and say that's the most messed up election we've ever seen.
Of course, he doesn't name these world leaders, nor was he challenged to by Bartiromo, but nearly all of those world leaders have actually congratulated Biden, except for Vladimir Putin.
This is disgusting, and we cannot allow America's election to be corrupted. We cannot.
Well, how about she stops embracing conspiracy theories on national television? That might help, but if she lets the president's phone call go straight to voicemail, she wouldn't get his validation.
You're actually very brave because you're doing something the media doesn't want to talk about it.
There were so many conspiracy theories and lies in this interview that his decision to boot Sidney Powell off his legal team for being too tinfoil hat is a rejection of Trump's own actions and that of his lead lawyer, who keeps saying the quiet part out loud.
The city of Detroit probably had more voters than it had citizens. I'm exaggerating a bit, but all you have to do is look at statistical data.
We are, the courts are, the facts are not on your side. And ahead, as health officials fear the COVID surge after Thanksgiving, we're just getting word that America saw its busiest travel day since the start of the